And I just really hope you guys have as well. This, just so that, some people come on some weeks and they miss other weeks and that type of thing. So we have moved on from moving mountains to our newest, which is, being a contrarian. So moving separately or differently than the crowd, very important to do, I believe. It's extremely important if you want to know my opinion. Because what I find is all the people, and I said this last week, all of the people that are prospering in one way or another, right? So either it be through, financial rewards or health, or, mental acuity, whatever it is. So however you're prospering, or however, people that are doing better are prospering, it's because they're often moving different than the crowd. I'm a big believer in that. So when I see people out on the street and I see them and they're physically fit, they're looking good, it's not like it was magic and they just snap their finger and then, they're physically fit and looking good. It took work on their part. So they were moving opposite from the rest of us, where we're not doing those things that we should be doing, which is, working on our body, working, on our physicalness, right? And since they're moving opposite from the crowd. And the same thing with your mind. I have never been a big reader. I read what I have to, but even with that, I fell off, right? So even with reading what I have to better myself at my game, I kind of fell off on that. And so what I'm doing now is I'm reading more. I don't care if it's, I have a book that I'm reading, and then I have multiple other books that I've bought that I need to read. And so I don't care if it's just a page a night. I'm reading at least a page a night. Often it's going to end up being, for me anyway, more than one page. But, my inroad to making it happen is by saying, what, I'm going to read a page a night. And then, that one page might turn into, 5 pages or 10 pages or whatever. But it has to start somewhere with me. And so since it has to start somewhere with me, I'm reading that I tell myself I'm going to read a page a night. And very, very important. It's all about being contrary or moving contrary to the way I've moved in the past. And I'm finding that it is for me personally creating more success in my existence. And what's even funnier is just when I had my mental shift from one business to another, when I started saying, no, you know what, I'm going to go more into this coaching thing and helping people build personally, you know what I mean, and entrepreneurially. I'm going to move in that direction. What is very funny to me anyway is that by me having that mental shift, by me clicking, it's like flipping a switch, right? By me flipping that switch, even without a crap load of marketing, what I find is because my mind is so much into that direction, I'm bringing on new clients from that. And if you guys, I want to give you somewhat of an analogy. Think about when you said to yourself that you want to buy a specific car, or there's something that you like, right? And then you start seeing that whatever it is, and you go, oh my God, I want to see I want to buy, like for me, I want to buy this a truck. I'm not exactly sure what kind of truck, but I want to buy a truck, and I want it to be a crew cab, and I want, not really lifted, but a little higher. And I keep on looking at, all of them, from Ford to GM to Dodge, and Toyota. And, so it's just like, as soon as I started thinking in that thought process and talking to my man Mark about it more and more, because he's looking at buying a truck as well. All of a sudden, I'm seeing all these bad, beautiful trucks, and I'm just like, damn, look at that one, look at this one, And when that wasn't in my purview, when it wasn't in my my scope, if you will, I didn't give a damn about trucks. I mean, it could have been a half a dozen of them passing by me every day, and I didn't care. But all of a sudden, as soon as I opened up my receptors to I want a truck, then out of the blue, I'm not only seeing trucks more and more and more, but I'm also seeing the type of truck that I would want more and more and more. And it's kind of amazing how that works. And it's been that way all of my life, as I know it is that way for everyone on this call, because it's just a human thing. The more you think about something or want something or desire it, then the more you see it in your existence. Does that make sense to you guys? I mean, have you guys experienced that as well? I would believe you have. And so it's important, right? Because that very same, the way that works in that part of our existence also works in every other aspect of our existence. We just don't think about it in that way. And so for me, focusing on becoming a more of a coach and helping other people, build their businesses and all that good stuff. All of a sudden, without me marketing it even, I'm getting more calls and getting more business out of that. And that's the magic. It's just, you have to be focused in that. And so we have to act contrary to the way we've been acting. If you have something that you want to do, then you have to move contrary to the way you've been moving, right? And that's what makes people successful. I see it all the time. And I like, my wife and I were having a discussion about luck yesterday. And the deal is that somebody's making a little extra noise. If you could not do that, that would be super duper awesome. If you can, well, let me back up here. If you can think about it and you say, well, I believe in luck, like I believe in luck, right? I believe there is such a thing as luck. But here's the deal for me. I believe in luck, but when you look at luck, what happens in most cases, so you say somebody won the lottery. This is an example that, we were discussing with my wife and I. You win the lottery, but is that really luck? Because you had to go buy the ticket. Even if it took you 5 years of buying tickets or 10 years of buying tickets, you had to buy the ticket, right? If it's a rarity. Now, it's lucky that you won, but it is a rarity where luck comes to a person that is not putting out some sort of effort. It's a rarity that you're not in a situation somehow, some way, where luck just comes to you without some sort of something, a preparation being done, and that is part of my contrarian way of thinking now. It's like I have to believe that my luck, right, it comes to me because I am bringing it to fruition by my actions. It's not just like it's just going to fall out of the sky necessarily. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm just saying more often than not, it is going to be something that I do to create my own luck. And it's going to be something that I do that is contrary to what I've been doing. That is the complete opposite than what the rest of the sheeple are doing. If, for instance, let's say if last week I made $5,000, right? Well, I wouldn't have made that $5,000 last week if I weren't moving contrary to the way other people are moving. I would not have made that money. If I made that money, I'm not saying I did or didn't. I'm saying that if I did make that money, it came because I was moving in a different way than the rest of the people out here, right? That are just, getting up and doing whatever it is they do every day. It has to be that we, everybody on this call, including myself, start making changes in our thought process. And the other part of being a contrarian is to stop thinking that we can do everything. Doesn't work as well as you'd want it to. It just won't. See, the average person I have found, right? So this is Pascal's, pulling out of his ass statistics, okay? But the average entrepreneur that I talk to or deal with is doing 4 or 5 things. And what I believe is, because honestly, it's what I've been reading forever, is that it doesn't work. And so even myself doing 4 and 5 things, right? Have multiple businesses. But what I'm finding is when I focus on the one, on the thing that's making me the most money and that I get the most joy out of, I win at that point in time. And I've been reading forever that the shotgun approach does not work. So most of us do the shotgun approach. We'll say, I'm gonna do this carpentry business. I'm gonna do the electrician business, and I'm also gonna sell cars on the side. Something most of those things aren't going to work because you're not putting your energy and effort into one thing. And if you notice, people that have the greatest amounts of success, they are singular focused, right? They have a singular mindedness. They say, well, you know what? I'm going to create this thing called Ford Motor Company. And they put all their energy and effort into that creation of that thing. Cisco Systems or pick something. It is where a person or a bunch of people, right, a mastermind group, will put all of their focus into creating a specific software that's going to solve a specific problem, or they're going to create a specific it could be a toy or a some kind of mechanical device or whatever it is, but you'll have a person or persons that will delve into that one thing until it comes to fruition, until it comes to life, until it is created and then subsequently put on the marketplace. So multi-focused people is the norm, right? When you're trying to do 50 things at one time, that is the norm. When you want to be a contrarian, you are going to have to say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and that's it, that's all. This is who I am, this is what I do, and you're even going to have to make up your elevator speech about who, what, when, and where. The who, what, when, and where of who you are and what you're about. Because this is real business, right? This is real business. So you make a choice. It's a hobby or it's a business. And if you're saying that you're in a real business, then you're going to have to decide what business that is. And the other 2 businesses that you're running, you're going to have to say, I'm not running those right now. You're going to have to find someone else to operate them, or you're going to have to kind of put them on the back burner. Because in order to get all of because I have multiple business dreams and goals and aspirations, but the truth of the matter is I have to put all this other BS on the back burner because A, it's not making me any money. It is an expenditure. I have this great business idea. I have several actually, and one of them is my 60-second stand-up, that I was doing with my son. But here's what I found out, just like with other businesses that I've done, it's going to fall on your shoulders, not your son's shoulders, not your wife's shoulders, not your husband's shoulders. It's going to fall on you. And you're going to want them to do all these different things that they're not going to do, right? And you're going to be upset. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to be, mad at the money you're spending without getting, their commitment, right? Because you're like, oh shit, I'm spending all this money, but where's their fucking commitment? What are they doing for this? And you find yourself being a little upset. You find yourself, just not in the mindset that you need to be in. So what I'm going to say to you all is that is part of being a part of the sheeple. That is part of being the norm, the everyone else, right? You are going to have to, like I am doing now, right? Because I'm just like you. But I'm shifting as I read more, as I learn more, as I get a greater understanding. I understand that, you know what? I have to move in a specific direction on a specific thing that I want to do, which makes me happy, number one, and number two, which is going to bring the financial reward that I so desire. And then within that thing that I'm doing, that I enjoy and am getting financial return, I will have to find other people, whether they're partners or employees eventually, that want to work on that specific thing with me. And then once I get that thing profitable and running, so because a business is not something that you're supposed to be tied to. If it is a true business, then you are not going to be tied to it for the rest of your life if you choose not to be. A business should always have an exit plan. A business should always have something that if you so desire at any time of the day, week, or month, you can sell that bad boy off and it would continue to flourish without you. Or you can retire from it and continue to check from it. That is the ultimate, game plan with any business. So, getting back to the whole, moving forward thing in the becoming this contrarian. Multitasking, you might think it works, it does not, right? And I've known that for decades, but I still act in that because it's just who I've been trained to be. So I am moving away from that, and I am saying to myself, I will be 100% committed to this one thing. Now, once it gets to a certain point and it no longer needs me to in the daily operations and the daily growth of it, then absolutely, my 60-second stand-up, which I think is a $100 million business, right? So then I will focus and put my time into that. Because up to now, I've done nothing but spend thousands of dollars in developing that, and it's just kind of like, so where, if you were constantly putting, like in my case, I have a used clothes business with my wife where I've spent thousands of dollars in that. I have the 60-second stand-up business with my son where I've spent thousands of dollars in that. And so let's just say if I on the low end, between the dollars I've spent, the time I've spent, and the effort I spent, let's just say it's like, between $6,000 and $10,000, right? How much better would I have been off if I had put that into something that I control and that is my focus, that is my, that when I breathe, I live and breathe it, as they say, right? How much better would I have been to put that time, effort, and energy in that thought process, my creative thought, my entire thought process, my wanting to build and create and make stuff happen? How much better would I have been? How much better will you be, y'all? So that's the point. That is the ultimate point, is what are we going to do? Are we going to continue doing the same crap we have been doing and getting those results, or are we going to flip the script and do something completely and utterly different? And I'm just saying, I think it's time for us to flip the script and let's just try something different. And so in that, I'm going to make a challenge to everybody on the phone. And the challenge is going to be this. If you all on this call right here, right now, I'm not talking about later, I'm talking about on this call right now. If you all are willing to pick one thing and push into that one thing with your effort, energy, right? I'm talking about all your effort, all your energy. And I understand a lot of you are working, you have a job, and that's paramount, right? You have to make sure that your job is taken care of, because that is how you are feeding yourself, your family, paying your bills, and so on and so forth. But outside of that, if you are willing to pick one thing, one business idea, I will personally help you in any way I can to develop that one business idea. Now, I'm not doing none of the work for you. I'm telling you that up front. I'm not doing any of the work, but I will surely help you in every way I can and give you as much information as I can, right? As far as, where to go, what to do, how to do it. I'll give you all of that if the people on this call right now, if you're serious about one specific business, I will talk to you once a week, right? And we'll work together to develop that one specific business. And I don't want none of your business. I don't want no parts of it. I'm not trying to, back into someone making noise. Stop it. If you're interested in doing that, then you can text me right here, right now. You can text me at, whoever this is, you got to really stop making that extra noise. If you want to join in and have something to say, that's fine. But just a bunch of extra noise in the background doesn't work for me. So back to what I was saying. If you're willing to do that, if you text me right now, I will help you. I can't do the work for you, but we can chop it up once a week. We can spend, an hour on the call, and whatever resources I know about, whatever I can do for you, basically, I'll do for you. So if you text me right now, before this call is over, because when this call is over, that's it. It's not going to work, right? So those who text me during this call, or I'll give you 15 minutes after the call. So 951 is on the same plane, on the same playing field as you are, right? In other words, an entrepreneur moving in the same direction. It doesn't matter what your business is, all right? So just another entrepreneur out in the world trying to make things happen. That is the best person in the world to get ideas from. So if you're game for that, then text me, 951-515-4728. Whatever resources I can give you, I will give them to you. If you just want help chopping it up, kind of, running through your game plan, what you can do and not do, there's nothing like having someone else to run stuff by, because if nothing else, you might not use a thing that I say, but just getting another opinion will help you grow your position. And so let me explain to you guys why I do this type of thing, giving of myself, my time, and my knowledge base, right? And I'm doing it not just for you. I'm telling you, I'm very selfish with my most precious commodity, which is my time. Very selfish with it. But I'm doing it because, as I explained to you before, it helps me grow. I told you guys that I want to be a coach, right? Let me back up on that, because I don't want to be nothing. I am a coach, and I'm damn good at it. As a matter of fact, I compare myself to a lot of these other people that are out there because I buy their programs. I have other people that are in these different programs, and some of them are paying like $10,000, for the program. From what I hear, my stuff is as good, if not 10 times better than a lot of these folks out there. And the only difference between them and me is that they have more of a name built up. They have a greater marketing platform, and that's it. That is it. But what I give to my client base, the client base that I've established, in my opinion, is 15 times more. Because with those other people, you can't even talk to them. And part of my objective is to always be able to talk to my clients and have my clients to always be able to talk to me, and not just me, but to the other people that I have on my team, like Joy, who's extremely knowledgeable. She's constantly growing and developing, and she's going to get something. It can't be that. It has to be a lot about, me making moves that are going to benefit me by benefiting you, by benefiting other folks, right? So it goes back to the luck thing, and because I do believe in luck, but I also believe that most of the things that we consider to be lucky are things that we have prepared ourselves for. And I use the lottery because I buy a lot of lottery tickets, like $20 a week worth. I use that because, when I do win the lottery, people are going to go, wow, you are so lucky. But the truth of the matter is, yes, I am lucky, but if I had not bought the lottery tickets, then no, right? I would not have, that luck, if you want to call it that, would not have come. I call it, luck, but in truth, it's a lot of preparation. And so by me being on this call, talking to you all, bettering myself in this, this Power Monday Mastermind thing, what is that doing for me? Right, so you guys look at it and go, well, you know what? Wow, he's on these calls, he's giving away, his time, effort, and knowledge. But no, I'm actually training myself for my future. Right, so I'm moving contrary to the crowd. People don't seem to understand that. I have 35 of these calls built up so far. You know what that does for me? 35 of these Power Monday Mastermind calls I have built up in my inventory on YouTube right now, that as I create the platform for Power Monday Mastermind, all 35 of these calls are going to go on to PowerMondaysMastermind.com platform. Do you know what that does for my value? Are you guys understanding that? We're so trained to think in terms of, I got to get mine right here, right now. I can't do that for you because I got to get my money in. I can't do that for you. Well, I'm telling you, be focused on what you're talking about. Like, so my focus is Power Masterminds, right? Power Monday Masterminds. Our podcast is going to be also Power Monday Masterminds daily, and because it's pushing me in the direction that I say I want to be in. Are you guys grasping this? So I'm working in opposition to the norm. The norm is get your money now. Get your money now. But my new norm is my money's coming in droves, because when people come to these calls and they go, oh, you know what, dude has 35, he has 50, he has 100 calls under his belt. He has this able to talk a vast wealth of knowledge for 100 phone calls, right? That's 100 weeks. 2 years worth of calls, 52 weeks in a year, right? So he has that under his belt. So why would I not give him $5,000 or $6,000? And at the end of next year, it'll be $10,000. Because by the end of next year, my entire platform will be put together the way I want it to be. And I've mentioned this young lady to you guys before, but since the young lady, Dr. Sonia, who has been in the game for approximately 2 years, I believe it is, and she's almost clocking $1 million a month. But what did she have to do before that? She was working contrary to the normal thought process, which is, the normal thought process would be, I got to get paid before I can go speak to you. But people are like, who in the hell are you? So she had to go out, speak, tell her story, let people know who she is, what she's about. Then the money started coming. It didn't work the reverse, and it rarely will. it's what are you willing to give of yourself in order to get paid, right? It's in the best realtors. Back in the day, I used to be really heavy into real estate. At least at my level. And one of the things that I found with the people that were killing it in the real estate game, like I had this realtor in Augusta, Georgia. Let me tell you something. The reason I went with her was only because I didn't meet her at first, right? Before I even went to Augusta, I was buying properties in Augusta. And the reason I went with her is because no matter when I called her, or what I needed from her, man, she was on it. She was like, no problem, Pascal. Look, I have to do this, this, and this, but I'll get that taken care of for you, right? So I'm like, lady, I mean, if you're willing to put that much out for me without a dime, I'm gonna rock with you. You're the one, right? And so then she started getting all kinds of money out of my pocket. She just came up because I bought I don't know what it was, 7 or 8 properties through her, and so what was that 7? I'm just gonna say no, it's because I did. Yeah, so 7 properties I bought through her in a very short period of time back then, and it was because she was so willing to give of herself up front, willing to take that chance that I wouldn't that I wouldn't utilize her for anything. She literally was like. Called her because I found her number online and called her up, and she was just so amenable, so willing to work with me without getting a dime from me that you're damn right. I mean, I'm not going to say that she got rich off me or anything, but I'm sure those 7 mortgages that she did for me in the course of 6 or 8 months was not a bad look for her financially. Plus, other monies I gave her to help, quasi manage the properties because I'm here in California and she's there in Augusta, Georgia, right? So she came up, and it wasn't like she had to do a lot of work for it. So, do you guys get my point? She was working contrary to what other people, because I did call other realtors back then, and basically no one wanted to deal with me because I was out here in California and they didn't know what the hell I was going to do, right? And so, everybody wanted money. Because I was like, well, look, I'm here in California, you're in Augusta, I see all the pictures, I see this, I see that, and she was like, you know what, I'm going to go by the house. I can get in the property. That's not a problem. And I'll take pictures of everything for you so you can see exactly what's going on there. She said, give me a couple of days, no problem. And she would go by the properties, take pictures of the exterior, go inside the property, take pictures of the interior, blah, 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 blah. And, no one else was willing to do that for me, unless I paid them up front. But she was. So she got paid. She got broke off. In Augusta, Georgia, I would say she made really good money off of me, So you get my point, you guys. What is it that you're going to do that's different than the sheep? What is it that you're going to do that's different than the rest of the people that are out there that are just, saying that they're in business? Because most of them are not in business, y'all. Most of them it's a hobby. And if you're running around doing, like I've done, like way recently, right? Trying to run multiple businesses when the other people that are involved in the businesses, don't have the energy level for that business or the financial to put into the business, and you find that it's all on your shoulders. The thought processes, the spending the money, all this other bullshit. Stop. Just like I had to say, I'm good. I'll take the loss. I'll take the $10,000 loss, and just I'm good, because I don't want to keep on putting money into anything anymore that I, Pascal Dominique Mansell, don't control and have, all of me into it. I just don't want to be bothered anymore. And it's just, we all have to come to some sort of conclusion, some sort of thought process that, what is the business we're in? What is your, I'm taking a class, and I mentioned this to you all before, and it's through a CDC, which is Community Development Center or whatever. And they get government funding for impoverished neighborhoods to teach people about business. And so I'm involved in a chamber of commerce that deals with this this CDC. And so the Chamber of Commerce, since I'm involved with this particular Chamber of Commerce, they when they deal with the CDC, when I heard about the classes, I was like, I'll take those classes because they're free to me, right? Excuse me. And part of being a contrarian is to be out there in the world, getting as much knowledge from the places that other people might not be so apt to do it, right? Because for me, I have to go to this. It's an older, much older church in the middle of Watts, and it's Watts it's changing. So Watts has some really nice areas, but this particular area or part of Watts is not so nice, and I really don't know how safe it is. But nonetheless, I'm taking myself to those classes because I want to be different than everybody else. I want to get knowledge from wherever I can get it from, and if they're teaching in the hood, I'm going to the hood and I'm going to learn. You feel me? Because it's imperative that I learn, and they're teaching some good stuff. The guy who teaches the class has multiple companies that pay him, I forgot what it is, but I think altogether, some of them pay him like $30,000 in a month, or it's somewhere in that range. But it's chunks of money that he's making as a coach to these companies. I know he does a lot of what do you call them? Department of Transportation. So like the LA County Department of Transportation, he has a contract with them, and some of the upper echelon people call him about stuff, and he's there for them, and just, well, maybe you guys need to blah 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 because I know the law states that this or this, that, and the other, and I know that this person over here is doing this, so contract with the Department of Transportation for whatever it is a month, just so some of the higher echelon can call him up and ask him questions. I mean, I think it's really ridiculously awesome, right? So you guys get my point, though, is we got to start working differently than we've been, and I'm willing to help anybody who wants to do that, that's on this call today, and text me before 10:15, because the call's technically over at 10 o'clock, and text me before 10:15. Are you guys understanding any of the stuff on this working contrary to the way we've been working? Are you guys understanding any of this? Anyone want to speak up, say anything?
I absolutely agree.
I'm sorry?
This is Dr. Barbara. I absolutely.
Hey, Dr. Barbara. Awesome. So, are you going to be calling me up and we're chopping it up once a week?
I sent you a text already.
Huh?
I sent you a text already.
Okay. There we go. And so, what I'm going to be doing.
Hi, darling.
Good morning, Pascal.
Good morning. Who's this?
Landra.
I know it is. I just wanted you to say your name out loud because you act so scary. So, even though I'm glad that Talandra is on this call, you guys, because I'm going to have to use Talandra as an example of something. Because she won't do it herself, but Talandra has changed her viewpoint on so much, right? Because we talk periodically, and so Talandra has found a piece of property, and she envisions herself in this property, and that is so different than what I believe she might have been thinking just 6 months ago or 6 or 12 months ago. Would you say that's a fair assessment, Talandra, of how you're seeing yourself now?
I agree 1,000%.
You know, and she's making plans to buy a building, you guys. You know, and so I'm gonna, you know, there's some information that I have that I believe may be of assistance to her. I don't know. She's gonna have to dig into it to see if it works for her. But the point is that she has changed her perspective, and now she's looking at there's an awesome building that she had me looking at over the weekend. That is, I think I read when I did the numbers for you. It's like what was it, Tolle? It was like 26,000 cars go by that building. What did I read off of what's it called, LoopNet for you?
It was 22,000 people. It was 22,000 people that drive down this particular street daily. Or was it weekly?
No,
it was some crazy number, but I want to say 22,000. I remember was the number, and it was either weekly or daily.
And the people in the area, the average income is like $73,000 or something. You know, so what she has planned, you know, and it's like almost 10,000 square foot of street front.
Yeah, it's like a little over 10,000 square foot. It's almost 11,000 square foot.
And the building already has a very high-end renter in it. High end, I would say. You know, in the property, but in the reason I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, Sandra, that you're even looking at that now is because you've changed your perspective. On the who, what, and where, what your story is, basically, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the contrarian lifestyle, y'all. Is because if you just cut to the chase.
I chose from listening to these calls on Mondays and having conversations with Pascal one-on-one. It helps me to vision bigger. I didn't realize that I was actually not dreaming and had a vision. I did, but I didn't realize it until we actually talked and some important things started to come out. And I put them on the table, I acknowledged them, and then I had a totally different perspective in the sense that now, instead of being the rentee, I will be the owner and I will be the person renting to others and building a community in the beauty industry. So instead of a storefront, I chose to step out on faith and go for the gusto. And I have really like almost an acre. And so,
how awesome is that?
That's amazing. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Scary. That is just such a fantastic story. And pardon me, this is Denise for cutting in, but I'm just so inspired by your story. I'm jumping out of my skin. So you've heard me on the calls before, and that is a true testament that once you set your mind and once you get clarity and stop saying I can't or it's not for me or you have the renter's mentality. Why can't you own? Of course you can. Oh, well, I don't have this, well, I don't have that. Well, you're the one that's putting the block in your mind, but you decided that enough is enough. I have these dreams. What did it cost you to put your plans in motion other than a phone call to Pascal and have that conversation? What did it cost you?
It cost me, I would say, giving my 100% to God and just thanking Him in advance because I could feel it in my spirit that it was something bigger. And I just needed to be
Absolutely. And that's your burning desire. It starts with desire first, hoping and wishing for something to happen. And then from that, burning desire takes over. And the difference is extreme. It becomes an extreme, like you can't breathe, like you feel like you're just going to jump out of your skin and you're like, oh my God, I just have to do this, right? And so it's sounding like that's what it was for you.
Absolutely. Because what it helped me to project and see was that I underestimated my ability to actually dream and vision bigger. I was the setback. No one else, not my business, not the time I was spending. So I started gravitating more of my time towards the vision and the dream. And then everything just started falling into place. Instead of me looking for it, it's coming to me. So it's like full circle.
Once you put it out there, it just starts attracting. And it's been waiting there for you. It's just a matter of you then deciding, making that decision. And kudos to you. I'm very proud of you. And that you've been able to do this, because that's a huge accomplishment. And here's the thing. Most people, for what you just said, don't realize that that's all you have to do. It's as simple as that. Wasn't it simple?
Very, because I came on vacation to visit a friend, and then it just happened.
Wow.
Actually, a vacation I almost talked myself out of because I just felt like I just didn't have the time to give. So again, I just stepped out on faith. I didn't think twice about it, and it just happened. If I had not taken the vacation, I would not have even driven past the property. And mind you, I live in Chicago, and it's in a totally different state that I never thought or dreamed I would be establishing residency or my business.
Wow.
Which puts me closer to taking my business globally and not just in the neighborhood where I'm from. So it's really bigger than that even. If that makes sense to everybody. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
That's huge. And thank you for sharing, because we need a lot more testimonies of that, because of the simplicity of just asking, as they say, and you shall receive, right?
Or listening to Mastermind Mondays. How about that? And really putting your money where your mouth is. How about that? I feel like on these calls, Pascal, you call us out. You called me out. Like, okay, I'm gonna show you what I'm working with and see what you do with it. So then it's like, okay, really? Okay. Well, let me show you. That's how that happens.
Wow. That's great. And I know
I didn't want to be a statistic of the have-nots. The ones that did it.
You know, that's huge for Pascal and I, because we talk almost on a daily basis. And we just had a luncheon on Friday, and we power mastermind on Friday, moving forward in the next direction. And we're constantly talking to each other. And we hadn't had our face-to-face luncheons that we normally take, because I've been extremely busy. And finally I said, you know what? We're going to do this on Friday. And we had our lunch, and it was great. You would think that we didn't even talk every single day, because we went 3 hours of just talking. And this is huge.
That's
because
awesome. That's so awesome. That got me excited. Like, I really got excited. And I wasn't even there. But I know it was juicy. So I just got so excited.
Oh, it was. We had so much fun, and it was a beautiful day here in Southern California, and it was just the best. But the thing is, to hear your testimony, and I would challenge more people to come on and so I'm on a power call with Dr. Sonia every single week on Wednesdays, and we first start off with our wins. And so I encourage all of you who are on this call, just, share your wins. Even if it's something small, it doesn't matter. You don't have to compete with one another, as she says. Your win is your win. And just, at the end of the call, at the end of the Power Mastermind call, get on the phone and say, hey, you know what? I listened to this and I put this forward, just like you did, as you shared, because it means so much to us who are listening and to the speaker, Pascal, to know that he's impacting people out there. So I'm going to shut up now and let Pascal finish up because it's got the last 5 minutes because I'm going to keep talking. I'm just so inspired and so encouraged by you. It's great to see that,
Thank
you know,
you.
these calls are
Thank you,
inspiring.
because I'm so shy. And Pascal,
And
he
I would
tries
never
to
be able
coach
to
me
tell
on
that.
that one. I'm pretty tough. Yeah.
So you know what?
Congratulations.
This is everybody. I have something that I'm going to say. So I just bought this course, and I wasn't going to give it to anybody but the people that are in my my $5,000 program. So, but here's what I'm going to do, and I'm doing this on behalf of Miss Talandra, because since she has chosen to speak up and tell her story, which makes me extremely happy. I'm going to give everybody. I bought this list. It cost me like $450. So, but it's a list of hard money lenders, soft money lenders, down payment providers, a list of any kind of lender you can think of, nationwide, regional, by state. It's all broken down, and anybody who wants that list, just text me your name and your email address, and just say send me the list, and I will send. And I'm just telling you guys, it's just for the people that are on this call right here, right now. If you're not on the call, you won't get the list. So, and you have up until 10:15 to text me. Anything after 10:15, if it's 10:16, you're not going to get the list. Period. So I'm just telling you guys, if you want the list of lenders that I just paid $450 for, because it gives you, I mean, this list has, you know, if you need down payment money, they got it. You need 100% LTV, they got it. You know, they do commercial, they do residential. You know, this list covers everything. So this list is given to you all because of Talandra. So take a bow, Talandra, because of you, they're getting this list.
Stop it. I'm about to cry, like totally in tears. Because, you know, it's the world to say something, because I listen all the time, almost every Monday, guys. And he usually only knows I'm on the call when I call and say, oh, it was so good today. And he's been begging me to say something, but I was so excited today to listen to the call, because even the call today was satisfying for me, because I actually got sick, detrimentally sick, to tell you more of my testimony and my story. And by the grace of God, I'm still here. I'm alive. I'm on this call. And it means more to me than most, because when the doctor says, oh, if you didn't come in, you would not have made it through the night. We're so glad you listened to your call and you came in. And so from that little incident, it just changed my whole perspective. And when you meet great people was one of my commitments to myself. I chose to embrace them, and Pascal was one of those people, because listening through the illness and doctors saying technically you should be dead, and I'm fighting saying no, I'm alive, so let's just stay focused. You know, I have a lot to give, so it's not over for me. And listening on Mondays was something that helped me through. So let me add that on top, because I think that's important.
Wonderful.
Because it gave me a purpose. It gave me a reason. It gave me a whole new perspective and outlook on everything. And I was one of those people that worked so hard with my business. That was the reason why I got sick, because I tried to do it all myself, because people wanted me. They wanted Talandra. They didn't want anyone else. And so I sacrificed, you know, doing whatever I had to do to keep the client coming back, having repeat business, not just a one-time stop by and you don't see me anymore. And I got detrimentally sick from that. I think from the call today, moving forward with the new location, now I can hire a staff. I can hire someone that's driven like myself, you know, that's on my level, that feels that, hey, I'm going to be a part of a team and we're going to grow. And because I have so much to share. and I have so much to give. And I've always ran my business that way, where I just always just gave, and I didn't realize that I was neglecting myself. So that's important too. So don't chase so hard that you think it's all about that. No, you have to take care of yourself first. So that way you can accomplish these visions and dreams, I think. So
And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, my dear, which is it's imperative that we build a business, not a hobby. Because a business you should be able to walk away from and still profit from it. A business you should be able to sell and make money from it. But if it's a hobby, it's something that you're stuck doing constantly, and the only way it's going to survive or be is with you there. And I don't want that ever for myself. And I don't want it for anybody on this call. So look, you guys, I tell you guys over and over and over again, my reasons are very selfish for doing what I do. But within my selfishness, and I know it's all about me, right? Building me, making me better, but ultimately, by me making me better, it allows me to do greater things for not just myself, but for my son, my wife, my son's mom, who's actually one of my best friends, and the rest of my family, right? So, so there's nothing wrong with being that type of contrarian, where you understand that if you don't take care of you first, if you don't take care of you first, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, if you don't take care of you first, then there's not going to be anything for anybody else. You have to give people out of your overflow, not from your well, right? It has to be from your overflow. It can't be from, this is just my opinion, obviously, but when you give people, directly out of you, as opposed to your overflow, it's going to be a hard road. It's going to be a very hard road. But when you're able to have so much love and compassion for yourself, so much energy and caring for yourself, so that you're taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, when you're able to do all those things, then you will have so much more to give. And so, selfishness is really the only word I can think of. I'm sure there's a better way of saying it, and maybe someone can tell me what that better word is. But right here, right now, I'm being selfish. These calls are for me to help me grow. Me giving away stuff, my time, effort, energy, it helps Pascal grow. It helps me become a better human being, and it also helps me become a better coach and a better business person. And that's why I give away stuff in my time, effort, energy, and knowledge. I give it away because it does help me. And then within that, it also creates overflow, and therefore I'm able to give even more. I'm often I don't explain things the way I really like them to sound. I really love them like, great orator, and I'm able to just put it in your ear where you just go, oh my God, that is just so wonderful. But that's just not who I am, at least at this point in time. So honestly, you guys, let's shift. Let's change. Let's and I'm here for you, whether it's just going to be on Mondays for you, or if you text me before 10:15, I'm here. I have a shitload of resources. I mean, like a ton of resources. What do you want to do? You want to do business with the government? You know what? I can give you some resources for that. I can tell you, my experiences with being a government contractor. What do you want to do? You want to create a $500,000 in business credit? That's if you have a team of people, you can do that in no time. I mean, if you have a team of people with good credit, you can do that. If you there's just so much out here, and it's just all about you deciding that you want to move in a very specific direction to create a very specific thing, and just focusing in and on that, and being open enough to learn and share, because the sharing part is going to help you grow as well. Believe it or not, it helps me grow. Sharing helps me grow a lot. And so that it's going to be very important for you guys across the board, y'all. So does anybody have anything that they want to add? Anybody? Go ahead, Dr. B.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Whenever it opens the door, people show you who they are. The good of it allows you to see who people are, and also reflects who they
You're breaking up a little bit.
know.
I can hear you, but it's kind of in and out.
Okay, maybe.
No, right now when you said okay, maybe that was perfect.
Okay. I was saying that it opens up to show you who people are, and in return it reflects back and shows people who they are. Because a lot of times we think we know who we are until that window opens. And in the window is a mirror that reflects back. And you realize, oh, that's who I am. Especially as you grow in age, as you grow in life, as you grow in business, there's different dynamics to growing. And this call was absolutely on point.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Does anybody else have anything they want to add before we conclude this session of our Power Monday Masterminds? Okay.
Another
Well,
amazing
yeah.
call. Another amazing call.
Okay, fantastic. And thank you guys, as always, for coming on the call. And Dr. Barbara, thank you, as always, my friend, for sharing. I really, really appreciate you. Tarandra, thank you for not being. Yeah.
Hey, Pascal. Hey, Pascal. Are you still
Yes, sir.
on the phone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I just want to add something on it. I'm very, very happy that all those people who spoke, they have the same mentality that I do, and they do really appreciate all the info that you provide. It shows me that I'm not wrong when I pick my friends. Thank you, Pascal.
You know, validation is a good thing, man. Well, thank you, Frankl, for coming on the call and for also speaking up. I greatly appreciate it. And you know, and everybody, my man Frankl is constantly, consistently on the call. And you know, one of the things I want to say real quick, I don't want to tell your business, but I do got to say this because I actually find you to be. You know, so how can I say this without telling all your business? So you were quite ill for a while, right? And you took it upon yourself to, you know, through natural as well as through, you know, the doctors to make yourself much better than what you were. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I think it has a lot to do with who you are as a human being, you know, and that you were able to go from, you know, being in the situation you were in to a, you know, physically, right, being ill, to a much better situation. And I'm very happy for you and proud of you for you I do personally believe it has a lot to do with the person, right? That you've done so much to heal yourself, and I'm very proud of you, sir. Very, very, very proud of you. And also, you're just a good human being, and your beautiful wife is also a really good human being as well. But I wanted to also, say, Talandra, thank you for speaking up and sharing. I'm really, really happy for you, and I'm going to send you that list of lenders as well, so that way you have it and you can utilize. I believe it might be because they don't really care about credit. I meant to mention that earlier, y'all. Credit is not really their big thing. So, you can have like a 600 FICO score for some of them, and they'll do up to $2 million in financing with a really crappy FICO score. But the numbers of the property have to look right, because that's what they're banking on. They don't give a crap so much about your credit score as they do the numbers that you're working with. So they're going to tell you, and a lot of the lists, it will tell you, what type of, are they looking for, 70%? Are they looking for, what they're looking to willing to take a chance on, right? Some might be 60%, some might be 70%, some are 100% LTV, which is simply loan to value. So, you just have to call them, kind of go through the list, find what you want, what's in your parameters that you're looking for. If it's 100% LTV, which I'm sure most of you will be looking for, what is it that they're going to be looking for, for the property? I mean, what are the numbers on the property? Because if they're going to give you 100%, believe me, your numbers got to be right, on the property, because they're investors. They're going to take a risk on you. So I'm going to get that list out to everybody who text me. And, once again, for those of you listening to the recording of this call, please don't ask for the list, because you're not going to get it. Unless you want to, pay me for half the list, and I'll give it to you. But other than that, no, you're not going to get it for free like these lucky individuals. Anybody, please invite friends onto the call. That would be greatly appreciated. And if anybody has a question or what have you, my number, everybody has it, I'm sure. Give me a call, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much, everybody. Talandra, and last but not least, my business partner, Denise, my partner in crime, and so many things we do together.
Thanks for having me every Monday. Thank you.
Yes, absolute. Thank you, everybody else, all the quiet people, which is a lot of quiet people that don't say anything ever. But thank you guys for coming on the call. And I really, truly hope that you all are getting something from these calls. Thank you so much. Invite your friends, y'all. That would be awesome. The more, the merrier. Take care.